Well, hello. This is Rosa from RCG Creations. How are you doing? I'm bringing to you a casserole. It's a spicy, kind of a Cajun casserole, but it's made with a bunch of hodgepodge spices and seasonings that you have in your home. So that way you don't have to worry about going into any detail. You can do this with ground beef, chicken, pork, pretty much any meat that you want of your choice. It's up to you. So hubby went ahead and cooked the ground beef. He's drained it. Oh, I forgot to get me. Let me put you on pause for a second. Okay, we're back. There's two ways you can do this. The best way is to put your ground beef or your meat, whatever it is that you're going to be cooking, saute it in a frying pan, which is what hubby did. Okay. And then as it's cooking, add fresh diced up onions and fresh diced up bell peppers. Hubby don't like the onions or bell peppers, so I have to cook without it. I love them, but he didn't. So I have to rearrange to what suits both of us. Okay? So what I asked him to do is cook the ground beef, drain it, which is what he's done. I took it out of that strainer. And because this is already pre-cooked with just plain meat, no seasonings, no nothing. But the reason you want to do all that, my readers, in case I need to read my recipe part, is I've never made this one before, but I've seen it on a couple of YouTube channels, and I've seen it, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit myself to suit my personal family needs, which is the best way to do it because not everything works for everybody. But you actually get a lot more flavor. It is a lot more tasty if you saute your onions and your bell peppers when you're cooking your meat. Okay, you want to use little chunks or shredded chicken, pork, ground beef, pretty much any meat of your choice. It's totally up to you. Okay, so you want to saute all that. Then once the meat's all cooked, then you take it out and you add a bunch of your seasonings into this. Actually, you don't take it out. You leave it all in the same frying pan. You can leave the juices in there, like ground beef has a lot of fatty juices in there because it adds so much flavor. Because it's going to bake in the oven at 350 for an hour. So it's not going to hurt you any, but if you don't want that extra fat, because like us, we're wanting to watch our fat intake and calorie intake and carbs. So we drained it, and you can drain it. But don't forget, you're draining away all those juices. So again, do what's best for you and your family. So, this is drained, plain Jane ground beef. Nothing else is in it. Now I'm adding some black pepper. This is just plain tabletop pepper. Let me get my top on it before I drop it. And then I got me some onion powder. And you could do, if you wanted to do a regular measurement, you would do 1 pound of meat. And then you would do 1 tablespoon of the following seasonings. We like it spicy, so I'm just going to add, this is the leftover from one of those home delivery food meals where you order. And then this one was either Green Chef or Hello Fresh. I forget which one. But anyway, I just saved that because I knew, oh, I hadn't even opened it. Because I knew we use red pepper flakes all the time because hubby loves spicy. So that's about a teaspoon, I think. But you can add more seasonings to it if you want it more spicy. This is a good thing about this. This is why this is kind of called a hodgepodge. Okay, I add my onion already. This is my homemade dehydrated garlic powder. I just get fresh garlic, chop it up, put it in my dehydrator, and then I powder it with my coffee blender. This is white onion powder. This is some more of my homemade stuff. And your homemade stuff is not like the store-bought because you don't have any preservatives in it. So it does stick depending on your moisture. Okay, and it does get clumped up. I just put a wooden spoon in it and that crumbles it all up. Okay. Going to add some oregano. And again, I'm not measuring. I'm just pouring because I've done this a lot. This particular recipe, I haven't done it a whole lot, but I do. I'm not an expert, but I already kind of know what goes and what amount goes with what. This is one thing you want to learn, is you want to learn your seasonings, and you want to learn when and how much you can add or delete in a spice. And then for the seasoned salt, because I haven't put any salt in any of this, because a lot of this stuff already has some salt in it. So I'm just going to add a little of this just for some flavor. I would say about a tablespoon. Oh, my oven's ready. Okay, then I'm going to add your, it's supposed to be like 8 ounces, but this is a wide mouth pint jar that I pressure can. I made my own tomato sauce and my tomato juice. This was canned back in November 2020. And, oh, I need me a towel, because I've got stuff on my hands. Okay. And I'm going to put the whole thing, because you want this a little bit liquidy, because we're going to add 1/2 cup of white rice. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this over cooked noodles. And I'm very gently, because this is a glass bowl. You never really want to scrape metal inside your mason jars, because that could compromise, but I'm being ever so gently. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to compromise it, but you do need to be careful when you're doing your mason jars. We're using a metal utensil. Okay, now I'm just going to mix this all up. And you do want it wet, because you need that wet for the rice to absorb while it's baking in your oven in the casserole dish. And as you can see, it's there, but it's not wet enough. So I'm going to need to add, I think I'm just going to add some broth. I'm going to put you on hold. Let me grab my broth and I'll bring you back. We're back. And I got my broth that I had in the fridge. And this is one of those resealable lids that I keep in the fridge, so I don't keep my metal lids in the fridge. So this is some broth. I think this one is turkey broth, I believe. I didn't label it, because for me, broth is broth. But it doesn't matter if it's chicken or beef. Okay. Now see how wet it is? Let me bring you up close to that. See that? That's going to be enough for all the rice to soak up. So now I'm going to add my rice in here. Let me give it a one big stir. And I know this is cold, but you still want to taste it, because now's a good time to taste it before you put it in your casserole dish, to see if there's any seasonings that you want to add. You can definitely taste the garlic. We're not sharing this. This is going to be me and hubby only for lunch and dinner tomorrow. For dinner tonight, lunch tomorrow, so I'm going to double dip. I'll tell hubby. Okay, that's got a really good flavor. I don't think I need to add anything to that. So let me get this out of the way. Clean up my mess. Because now, because you never know with overload, I always like to cook on top of a cookie sheet. That's just me. Spray your baking dish with cooking spray. Whoops, I'll just get this in here so it doesn't get dirty. And I pour everything inside your pan. Ooh, good. And if you notice, there's hardly any dishes to have to clean up. This is another good reason this makes a good casserole. It gets a good hearty meal. Okay. Now the oven's already gone. I'm going to go ahead and turn this put this in the oven, but I want to just explain to you. Once this is cooked, it's going to take about an hour. So about 45 minutes before the hour is up, set your timer, and then take it out of the oven and sprinkle your cheese on top, because you want the last 15 minutes, you want that cheese to melt and go down into this to give you added flavor. But you can omit the cheese if you don't want the cheese, but we like our cheese. So I'm just going to put this on there on top, and then we'll be able to eat in an hour. This is a really quick, nutritious, very filling meal. So I'm going to set my timer, 45 minutes, put some sprinkled cheese on top, and then put another 15 minutes on it, and then we'll be ready to eat. So I'll bring you back when we come to the taste test, okay? We are back for the taste test. Let it cook for 45 minutes. Whoops, I'm going to change my thing back. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay, good, yes. Okay, so I let it bake for 45 minutes, and I forgot to tell you earlier, you want to put foil over it just so it doesn't get too overcooked on the top layer, because you also want the moisture to stay inside there for the rice to cook, okay? So I put the foil on top. I put the whole thing in the oven, and I forgot, oh, my foil. So I take it out, put the foil over on top. Then I baked it for 45 minutes, set my timer for 45 minutes, and when the 45 minutes was up, I sprinkled my cheese on top, as you can see. See that? I know you can see that. And look, I wanted to show you, there's not a whole lot of juices in there, so that rice soaked up all the extra moisture that you wanted to, but it's still pretty moist. Nothing is sticking. Look at that. Nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. Let me bring you a little closer, because I can't really tell if you can see that or not. See that? Just a little bit is sticking to the bottom of the pan, but that's okay. But that's the reason why you want to spray it with some cooking spray. And then here is hubby's plate, and there's my plate. So it's not overly juicy, which if you wanted to, you could make it that way. Just add extra tomato sauce. Now let's do the taste test. I'll put this here because I want to make sure I don't burn myself. Oops, one more time. I keep on forgetting to flip this thing. You can definitely see the ground beef. The rice looks like it's really cooked. This is really, really good. Ooh, it's got some kick from the red pepper flakes, so you may want to cut back a little bit on the red pepper flakes, because I'm pretty sure I didn't measure it, but I'm pretty sure it was a whole tablespoon that I put in, because it was that one little packet. But it's not overly bad. It's okay. And this is your entire meal. Nothing else is needed. Now, of course, you could do some side dishes, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do an easy meal, less cleanup, and then we definitely have more than enough for lunch for tomorrow. And if we want seconds, I doubt I'll want seconds tonight, because I'm really trying to watch it, because there is rice in here. So I'm really trying to watch my carbs and stuff, but it's really, really yummy. I can definitely taste. You can definitely taste the ground beef. I could definitely taste the seasonings. I could taste the garlic. I could have used a little bit more oregano in there than what I put. It was about 1 tablespoon. No, excuse me, 1 teaspoon with oregano. I would have put 1 tablespoon of everything, all the spices, and I will put, like usual, I'll always put that in my description box, so don't forget to go to the description box. And I'll do a quick little pop-up near the beginning of all the ingredients, but I'll put the actual recipe, how to make it, and some of the things that you can add to it or how to eat with it. Because you can make all this, omit the rice, and then pour this over some cooked pasta. Okay, that's one way to do it. Or, you know, this is just what I call a spicy beef casserole is what I call this. Quick and easy. Really great on cleanup for dishes. Not much to do on that at all. So, I'm going to take one more bite. Let me have a little bite with the cheese. And you can definitely taste the tomato sauce too. Now, those who love veggies like I do, but hubby does not, I would have put whole diced tomatoes in here, along with the bell peppers, diced bell peppers, diced onions. I would have put some red, some yellow, and some orange bell peppers in there, just to give it some more color. But this is a spicy for sure because I use red pepper flakes. Okay? So, anyway, don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.